Okay, good morning, everybody. Let's go ahead and get started. Let me know if you guys can hear my audio and see my screen in the chat box. Just give me a little Y or a yes there, just to let me know that it is working. Hope everybody's having a fantastic morning. Hopefully your trading has been going well. I'm excited. We've got a lot of really fun stuff to talk about today. I had some good signals and we've got some more stuff we're going to get into. So I'm really excited to get into all of that stuff. We got a lot to unpack as well as the banker's close trade. Um, so let's go over our disclaimer. As always, I just need to remind you guys about the risks involved in the market. You can lose all or more than your initial investment if you're not careful. So please be aware of how many pips you're risking on each trade, as well as how big your lot size is, and ultimately how that would affect your account if you were to lose money. Okay. All right, guys. So let's take care of the banker's close first, and then we'll talk about all of our swing trades and some of the other stuff that we've been doing. So as far as news goes, the dollar has been rebounding a little bit. I guess it went down first and then rebounded. We'll talk about that. There was hopes of a Fed pivot, but I mean, there's also that argument that they're still going to raise rates, especially because there was a Fed chair, not Fed chair, Fed, yeah, I guess the Fed spokesperson said they're not done raising rates, and that was just recent. That was just yesterday. I can't remember who said it, but it was somebody at the Fed. All right, so, but in terms of news, there's not anything. There was some pound news early last night, but there's not really anything else for us to be aware of or that would affect our trade. So let me pull up our scanner. I have it over here. See if anything's lining up right now. Technically the Euro franc is kind of lining up. Let me pull that up here. Let's see if that is a good opportunity for a banker's close setup. Okay, so what I like about this is it's pulling back from overall it's on an uptrend on the 15-minute. Well, I guess 15 minutes down technically, and then the hourly's up though. Let's see here. Yeah, because the other option, Euro pound slightly was setting up recently. Let's see, this is not a terrible option, honestly. Yeah, I might place just a couple of buy orders in here on the Euro franc. So basically similar trade to yesterday, but instead of going short, we're going long. So I'm just going to add a starter position to get started. Okay, and that'll be my banker's close trade today. Okay, and then a couple of things kind of like yesterday, because I do want to kind of go look at some of the trades we took last night and yesterday. So I do want to just kind of set some of these trades on autopilot. So I'm going to put some buy stops down here, kind of in these levels where we're looking to add to the position. And I'll adjust these stop losses if we need to at the end of the webinar. During the webinar, I like to have the flexibility to add to this trade if I need to. So something like this. And then I'm going to bring these targets in just a little bit, kind of closer to the mid Bollinger Band. Okay, so for reference, I'm up 509 pips already this morning from my personal trades and some of our signals. So anything past 509 will be profits that were made through the banker's close setup. So we'll just need to keep track of that. So if we do cleanup, like if we have to close out some for losses, and if we have to, if we obviously if they just go to our target like it did yesterday, yesterday was awesome. It was one of those days where it just goes directly in your favor without really any difficulty. Those are the days that are super awesome. They don't happen all the time, but on a day like that, if today is a repeat of yesterday, then we won't need to do any cleanup. It'll just be profit and no losses to account for. So anyway, excited about that. So let's let this sit and let it do its thing. Now let's talk about some of our other trades. We had some really cool stuff happen last night. I had some really awesome trades take place. I'll even show you. Let's first talk about the pound franc, because that was the trade that just did outstanding. So let me go ahead and show you this right here. So I'm just going to plot my trade. Here it is. Okay, perfect. So we placed a pending order down here that never, or I guess it triggered, but it took a little bit later. Took the market a little bit more time to get down here. And we bought down. This is when I placed it. So, but the order executed right there. So this was the entry to buy. The drawdown was pretty minimal. Well, I guess it did draw down against us, 43 pips, but we ended up making 169 pips of profit on this trade, which is awesome. I think it was like 169.7. So huge return with only a 44 pip drawdown, I think is really good. Now, why did we buy down here? And you guys can go back and watch the webinar from yesterday. Go back and watch the recording. What did I say? What's this market going to do? I said, see ya, right? If you guys remember that, I said it's going to go see ya when it comes down here. And why did we feel so confident that it was going to do that down in this area? Those were the words I used. So if you go back and look at, let's see, I can't do it on that chart. It's a little harder to do. Just because I don't have enough data. On TradingView, I can go back and do more chart analysis. So here's kind of my system, just so if anybody's wondering. On TradingView, that's where I do a lot of my analysis. There's a lot more tools here. It's more interactive, the chart. I think it's intuitive. TradingView is kind of the king that way. So analysis is done on TradingView. Obviously, when I'm doing my FTMO trading, that's going to be on MT4. And then obviously this other company I trade for, they have their own platform, this Alveo platform. So I use this, and I like it. It just doesn't give me, I can't go back far enough, right? Oh, actually, let me see if I can go to an hourly chart. Let me see if it'll actually work. Oh yeah, actually, I think I can go far enough over here. So basically, we talked about this yesterday, and go back and reference it. Like I literally talked about this. So when you're trying to find the bottom of a market, like this market was coming down pretty hard before. Obviously, it spiked up today a ton, but how would you have known it was going to do that, right? This is where the market was yesterday, right over here. You don't know, like at the time, we don't know that that's going to happen. Well, we're predicting it, but like what I'm asking you guys to do is just try to put away hindsight and just go back and look at it from an objective standpoint. This is where the market's sitting, is right here. Okay. And a lot of people, what they do, and I'm guilty of this, for years, I was guilty of this. I'd see this come down and form support down here, and I think, oh, okay, this is the bottom. This is it. But man, things have changed for me quite a bit once I started looking at market structure and what causes the market to go up or what causes the market to go down. Because the very thing that causes the market to go up one time will be the very thing and I call it a mechanism, it will be the very thing that causes the market to pause and go back the other way in the future. This is support right here, right? And just because something's at support doesn't mean that's a mechanism, right? That's not the thing that caused the market to go up or in your favor or against you, right? The thing that causes you to make money in this type of a scenario is you need to go back and look at what is the thing that caused the most, I guess this is on an hourly time frame, right? What caused the actual breakout? This was a support level, right? But that's not what caused the breakout, right? Obviously, there was something that happened here. Some banks came in here and did something to cause that bar to go up and could start this breakout. But this was the structure right here. This was the resistance that was formed. So what we want to do is go find out what is the thing that caused the break in the structure, because that's where support and resistance forms in the future. Okay, it's really important to understand that concept. Okay, so if I come over here and I can draw this line for you guys so you guys can see this, but let me show you. Okay, so this technically is a support level, but I would consider this a mechanism, right? Because obviously the market broke out and broke its resistance from that, but also this thing right here. I would consider this box right here. Let's highlight some of these things. In fact, let's do it. Now I'll leave it. Let's do this right here. This is what I call a mechanism, right? It's an institutional buy block, whatever you want to call it. This is another institutional buy block right there. And technically this old support level is too, but what I've observed is not where they started the move up, but rather where did they confirm their entry? It's this, right? This is where they confirmed it. They confirmed it here. These are the areas where you want to buy. So if you come further, obviously the market goes up, up, up for like a month, and then it starts to come back down and we start retesting these areas again, right? We start to see that right here, and the market comes down right here. Okay. And then what happens is you see, so you come here and you can see, okay, yeah, the market came right into where that mechanism formed, right? So we're going off of this guy. Obviously the market came into there and came and just bounced right off. It tried to come into here. It didn't quite get there. And then I mean, obviously it would have. I mean, if it had, I mean, it was really close. How many pips is that? That's like 11 pips away. And then the market just shot up from there. So, anyway, that's really cool stuff to see. Just because I don't know if a lot of traders would have seen that coming, right? Because from this low that formed right here, it went up 247 pips. Of that, we grabbed 170, well, 169.7. That's what we were able to grab, right? From this trade here. And our thought process is, maybe it'll draw down, 50 pips, something like that. But this is these are buy order blocks essentially. So the market will either come here and then go up, or it'll come here and then go up. And there's kind of like a 50 pip box where that could happen. And then obviously that takes place. So that's really, really, really cool. Let me show you a couple of other trades that I'm in right now. Very similar to this one. They're almost identical trades. In fact, they have the franc in them, interestingly enough. So I have a trade on this. In fact, I'll show you. And it looks like our Euro franc's doing just fine. We'll let that sit. I have a trade on the dollar franc. Let me pull this up. Profile. Let's go back to this. I'm going to show you guys this. So this is a trade that I have open on the what is this? This is the dollar franc. I bought down here last night, and the reason why I bought down there has to do with, and you actually can't even see it. You can't even see it. Let's go over to Trading View so I can show you guys. So you can go back and look at this kind of stuff. Oh yeah, let's just click on it. Here we go. So I bought right on that candle right there. Right there. How would you have known to buy there after it was just dipping and it even went through support? It went through its own support. You know, like how would you have known? Well, you have to go back and find the last time the market was dipping down in these areas. What caused the breakout? What caused the market structure? So this is market structure right here. This was resistance of the past, right? And when I look at this, I think, this, whatever this is right here, caused this. So whatever the banks were doing in here, they were willing to put in a large trade to create this. Now, obviously, they did it here too. So this is another mechanism. Let me draw out kind of like the areas of interest that you would want to be looking for if you were the one trading this. So you'd come in here and say, this appears to be, well, this was the last, consolidation mechanism, whatever you want to call it, buy order block before the market broke structure. Okay. And then there was another one, you could say that this is another market structure zone right here. So these would be the two areas of buying interest. You would want to buy in these two areas way more than you'd want to put a buy at this support level, right? Just forget about buying at support, right? Although it's not necessarily a bad idea, I think your best bet is to be putting in trades like this. So these were the two things that took place before this market went up. And if you go, and this was all the way back in April, right? But we're testing these levels again. So you want to see where did this last happen? And this is on an hourly chart. You could do this analysis on a daily if you wanted to, but yeah, you go back over here to where we are now, and you can see the market just dipped in to that buy order block that was formed back in April. And that's what caused this 100 pip move, 100 plus pip move today on the dollar franc. Okay. And I like looking for these on the higher time frames, just because it's super awesome. So what's cool is you can get these really super accurate entries that totally avoid, like, this dollar franc has been on a absolute tear to the downside, right? It's been down 783 pips. And what makes us want to buy right there at the bottom, right? How do we know that that's the bottom? What if this was going to be the bottom, or what if this was going to be the bottom? Again, you have to go back and find out, what's causing these breakouts. What caused it? What caused the break in market structure? Oh, this guy and this guy. That's what caused the break in market structure. Okay, you want to buy in those zones. Boom. Right. I have another one that just pulled out. It's a kind of a similar trade, but similar concept as well. It's on the Aussie franc. Again, everything's on the franc right now. Everything just kind of lined up on the franc all at once. This trade just closed out, and I want to show you how and why I got into this one. Okay, so with this guy right here, this one just closed out just as we were getting into the webinar together. Basically, I observed that there was a support that was formed right here. The market broke support, right here. It broke it last night or yesterday. And you guys know what I'm about to talk about, right? So the banks, they know that we have all these buy orders. They want our buy orders. The only way they can get our buy orders is if we're willing to sell. So if there's a bunch of buys right up in here, they also know that there's a bunch of sellers. They know that there's retail sellers in this area because this is where everybody's stop losses is. And you can see I fell victim to it for a little bit, right? Like I actually had a trade that stopped out right there. Fortunately I got back in and made it all back plus some, right? But there's a lot of sells in here. So they need people who are willing to sell in this area. Because if you're willing to sell, then they can buy, right? But in order to get that to happen, they have to create enough selling pressure to get you willing to sell. So they actually have to create a sell and then a push lower. And then once they've picked up all your buys, now they're left with this position. They have this big sell order, and now they have this new buy order that they've always wanted, but now they got it, but they don't want to have both. So they want to keep this buy that they just acquired, and then they want to get rid of this sell. So how do they do that? They have to pull the market back into what's called mitigation. So they've pulled it back into mitigation here. And what I do is I look for, generally speaking, you want to buy at the top of the candle that, so if I delete all this stuff, you want to buy at the top of the candle that caused that move down, or that the last candle of that move down. So an ideal entry would have been to buy right there. Based on those rules, I got in a little early, just because I saw the phenomenon and I felt like, yeah, this is it. And then you just put your stop loss on the other end of that candle. And actually, this actually looks like another opportunity on the Aussie franc the other direction, because now you've got a resistance formed up here. You could technically place a sell just right there. I mean, that would have just already triggered, and then that would be the stop loss. The thing is, I want to trade in the direction of the trend. And obviously this trend, well, I guess on the hourly, not so much, but over the last month, it's been overall up. And so I wanted to buy into this because I liked that. Okay. Last trade, I want to show you guys similar concept. This was a trade from last night. This was actually my biggest trade from last night. It was on the pound Aussie. And it was just the exact same concept that I just showed you. Oh, and this one's already pulled back. So let me plot this so you guys can see what I did. 200. Okay. Here it is. So basically, we had this overall uptrend, right? But the market was pulling back. This was support. This was the support that was formed right here. And the market came down and formed this. And so what I wanted to do is I wanted to come in here, identify the last candlestick that caused or that preceded the breakout, which is this guy right here. So what I did is I came in here, I placed a buy order right at the top of that candle, and then a stop loss just below the bottom of the candle. And you can see that guy triggered. I had a drawdown of 59 pips at one point, almost stopped out, right? Like at 72 pips stop loss. And then this guy came up and made 211 pips. And I'm glad I got out because you can obviously see it's pulled back since then. And basically the way I placed my target on this trade, I was just looking for where would be the next sell order block. If I were a bank, where would the next sell order block be? Well, probably where the last candle was, right up in here before the market pulled down. So somewhere up in here, I guess maybe I placed it on this candle, but just kind of in that area is what I was thinking. But all right. So anyway, really awesome trade, really fun stuff. we're going to take more like that. Right now, I just have the Euro franc. So I've closed everything else out. I had this pound franc trade that we took last night on my FTMO account. I made $4,500 on that one trade. Yeah, just over $4,500 on that. I'm looking at my order history, and then that Aussie franc trade I made $700 on, and I had a few others that made some money too. But really great night, honestly, just really, really awesome to see. So what we'll want to do is, and I want to see if we can do this while we have time here, while we're just waiting. This is kind of nice. Normally we just sit and wait on the banker's close and we're still waiting on it, but it's fun to have some other stuff to talk about and to do. So we'll probably go and hunt for some trade opportunities similar to the ones that we took last night, and see if we can get into some more trades. But yes, this looks good. I like that it's forming a lot of these pin bars down here, this Euro franc. So yeah, we just waiting for a rally to close out for profit. We're already up a little bit, but obviously we want to go for more. So we'll let that trade sit and do its thing, while we kind of look for some other trades. So I really like to use, when I'm looking for these trade opportunities, I like to use an hourly time frame, or a daily or a 4 hour. The reason why I like the higher time frame, guys, is because that's where the banks are hanging out, right? And because you can look for buy order blocks and sell order blocks on smaller time frames, but I really feel like you're going to find your best opportunities when you're up on those higher time frames. So I'm just going to go look for stuff. So, looking at, when I see a chart like this, so I'm just starting off on the first currency pair on my list here. So when I see a move like this, I actually really get excited, generally speaking, because if I can go back and find out, when was the last time it was over here, you know, this stuff is really nice. The thing is, I don't like, I have been watching this one, so I don't like this one as much, and I didn't take a trade on this guy because it's not really clear what the market structure was in the past. It wasn't clear where was the breakout, what was the thing that caused the breakout. Um, all that stuff that we require is not very clear on this Aussie CAD. So we'll go look at something else. You come over here to the Aussie franc, still not very clear. And it's not really breaking out. So I skip to the next one. Same thing. This is kind of in the middle of the range. Fun fact, like, come back and look at this Aussie yen. Go back and look at, where did the market make its lowest low before it went higher? Right there. Obviously, the market made a huge low. Go back and find out, what caused this? This is stuff you want to ask. Well, there's the support right there. Is there anything else you can go back and find? I'm having to go back pretty far on this. This one, this was just the market structure of the past back in May on the Aussie yen. To be honest, I don't think I would have, I think I would have missed this trade because I would have been focused on this right here as the, the mechanism that caused the break in structure. So I would have probably barely missed that one, but still similar concept. I actually had to trade. Oh, actually, let's take a look at this one. This is one that I'm in right now. It's just a pending order. It's the USD CAD. So I've been trying to buy the USD CAD right here, and I'm sad I missed it, but I missed my trade by 18, 15 pips, my entry. I had a buy limit right there. I almost got wicked into that trade last night. But again, go back and look at on the hourly time frame. What am I looking at over here? This guy right here. This one's very obvious, right? Because this was the structure, right? And then there's a breakout. So how do you know what structure is? It's the thing that precedes the breakout. So if you have a big solid breakout in the market, and that breakout was breaking out of something that was very clearly a resistance or a support level, that's called structure. Okay. and you want to find the thing that caused that break in structure. So this is it right here. So this guy was the structure, right? Um, and it's not even this. Like people would say, well, why don't you buy there? Wouldn't that be? You can. That's not how I trade this though. And most of the professionals that I follow don't look for that. They look for this. They're looking for again, that thing where the bank said, yep, this is where we're going, because what that tells you is that they have orders right here, lots of interest. So I placed a line right here looking for a buy opportunity if the market were to pull into there with a stop loss just below the mechanism, right? So now you fast forward, this was all the way back in September. Now you fast forward to today, and we got really close to it, but we didn't quite get into it. So yes, I do have orders on my other accounts. If the market were to come into this box, it's a buying frenzy. Time to buy. So that's a trade I might send out today as a signal alert. Would be to buy the dollar CAD if it comes into this box. And then yes, you can expect, if it comes into here, the expectation would be to have a target that's up here, that's 223 pips or something. Really greedy target would be out here, 350, 340, but this would be very reasonable to ask 200 pips from the market, and that could come all in one day, just as we saw today with the pound franc, just as we saw today with the pound Aussie, and just today, I made 100 pips, nearly 100 pips on the dollar franc today. So that would be my expectation on this trade. And the drawdown on this one would be just a little bit bigger, but your max drawdown on this guy would be 80 pips on this opportunity. And honestly, I don't even think you'd have to risk the full 80. I don't think you'd have to. But yes, anything below this line, all the way to this line, you want to be a buyer, because if you go back to September, that's where the banks really had interest. And you can kind of tell some of them are getting antsy. They got a little early to this trade. You can tell they're like, I want that. It got really close. They're like 15 pips, no big deal. I'll start now. Right. So I'm kind of sad I missed that. But at the same time, I want to follow the rules. I want to stay in it like we're supposed to. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I'll probably post that one. That's the closest thing that I know of that's lining up, that could line up tonight for a massive 200 pip trade. The type of thing that you make $5,000 on a single trade overnight. Yeah, that's probably the next guy up. But yeah, let's keep looking. I'm going down that list that I was showing you to see if there's anything else lining up. Actually, this Aussie Kiwi, it's been one of the most bearish currencies over the last 2 months, but I think it's coming into a level here. Yeah, so if you come and look at this guy, this Aussie Kiwi, come back and look at this analysis right here. So this is very clearly structure from the past, right? This is resistance. Okay. What is the thing that causes these breakouts? Well, I would say this and this right here. So your stop loss would be, well, there's actually another tiny one right here that I just realized. So all of this one's kind of tricky because there's a lot of little things in here that I would say match the qualification. This is a little mechanism that caused the breakout, but so is this guy. And so is this guy. This doesn't happen as often, but yeah, you've got all these different things, buying opportunities. All of these kind of make sense. If I were you, I'd probably place a buy order at each of these 3 levels. And then your max stop loss would be just below here. I don't know if I'd want to take all 3 though, because that is kind of a bigger drawdown if you had to hold all 3. But let's go look. Go forward and find out, did the market come in here and go back up? And sure enough, like right here, came into here, it almost got to this one, and then sure enough went higher from there. Came right into this guy, went up, came right into this guy, went up, came here again, went up, came here again, went up. almost touched it right there. And then went up quite a ways for a while. It's been up there a while, got close. This, here we go. So here we go. This one dipped into all three levels, right? And this one just perfect. This last one, it dipped into here by just a hairline and then went up, right? And you'd be up on all three trades by now. Unfortunately, I did not grab all three of those, but that would have been awesome. But just, it's just the kind of stuff you want to be looking for. See, we're totally ignoring that old support level from the past. We're just focusing on, again, structure, what caused the break of that structure, and then you're going back in history to find that information out. So I'm looking for stuff that's kind of on a tear. Like, okay, you look at this Aussie dollar, perfect. So it's on a big up. When is this thing gonna come back down? Well, this one's hard to tell. I've been staying away from the dollar a little bit. I guess you could say that this was it right here, and it actually continued higher. So you will lose some, but I think honestly, this has more to do with fundamentals because of the dollar connection right now and how the dollar's been kind of crazy with inflation reports and interest rate speculation. But yeah, this would be kind of it here. And you can kind of see the market it stopped there and it just kind of went back and it tried again and then came down, but now it's broken through it. I would consider that one to be a loser, to be honest. And I don't even know if I would have taken it, but nonetheless, I'm looking for that kind of stuff. Now, where would I continue to sell this? Probably not. Like, you can look back here. There's no new market structure to work with. So I don't know when that's going to be over. I don't really have interest in it. Okay, here we go. This is a trade I took last night. I made $700 on this guy, and I'm half wondering if I should have stayed in. Probably should have, right? I'm staying in that dollar franc. So my thought is, hey, if I stay in the dollar franc long position, it's kind of like staying in this position, right? But this guy has also been just pummeled recently. So when do you feel comfortable buying this again? This is the kind of beautiful stuff you want to find. You can make thousands and thousands of dollars on these types of the trades when this happens. Go back in time. Find the break in structure. Where is it? Wow, this one you have to go back pretty far. Oh yeah, I do remember this one. You had to go back really far. It hasn't been here in a long time. It just hasn't. Oh my gosh. I'll keep going then. Got close. Okay. That one, not quite. Hasn't even been there in that long. Yeah, if I remember, this was like 18 months ago, the last time it was in these areas, the Cat Frank. Here we go. Yep. But it's really obvious though. Once you find it, it's really obvious. So with this guy, I would say this is the resistance level. This is the structure that was formed right through here. And what are the mechanisms that you've got to work with? So this guy for sure, right? And then you've also got this guy. Those would be the levels I'd be looking for buys. And then, yeah, your stop loss would just go out on the other side of the mechanism, or buy order block, whatever you want to call it. And then the market can go up from there. So now let me see if I can go back faster. So since we know that those are two buy levels, very clear buy levels, let's see, would those be good buy levels today? Sure enough, right? Sure enough. It came right into here. I only draw down 12 pips. And now I'm up, if I were still in the trade, I'd be up 33 pips on that. So this one doesn't have as big of an ATR on it. So you're not going to see as big of a move, but nonetheless, that's the concept in action. Kind of fun to see. All right, that's fun to go see. Let's see if we can find some more. I know you guys are itching to find some more trades. Obviously, I'll post that USD CAD trade. That one looks good to me. This one's already done or is still going, this CAD yen. I don't like this one as much. Okay, this is interesting. So here's the Euro Aussie. It's starting to get crushed. It's coming into a support level, but do we have history of a breakout? Yeah, so okay, I see some stuff here. So this could be an opportunity potentially. So you come back here, this was back in October. Yep. So this was kind of so first thing you really have to identify is where's resistance in the structure. This is pretty much your structures right here. This resistance area, you could even say it starts right here. This is the resistance. And then this is the mechanism that caused the breakout. So you could say, and I think we're right in here right now, a buy right here. Your max stop loss on this would go right here, just below that. And again, you don't want to put it below resist support because there's no reason to. It's either going to work or it's not. If it works, great. If it doesn't, let's stop out faster. Okay. This is still, it's a bigger trade, right? So you're still risking 100 pips on this trade. Just so you know, but that's the thing though, you're going for like 300, maybe 400. So it's just something to be aware of. Is there anything else you could use? Yes. Technically, this is a little bit of a mechanism, but I don't like to use this as much because it pulled back so far. It just makes me think the market didn't really have conviction in the first place, whereas it did seem to have a lot more conviction from this order and then up, right? At least for a month or so. So I would be looking for buys in there. Obviously, it came in here, boom, went up, and now we're in here again. This could be an opportunity to buy. I may consider this one. I'll have to do some more research, but this has the potential to be an opportunity for us. I'm going to write that down. So I have the USD CAD. That one I really like. This one, I like it. I like that stuff that's tighter. If you have that tighter order block, then you can have a tighter stop loss and still have that confidence going into the trade. Okay, here's the Euro CAD. What are we coming into here? We broke resistance. And there's really nothing for us there's no breaks to work off of. Well, you could argue the last time it was up in this area. Yeah, actually, this was the last thing that this was kind of the last consolidation or volume area, supply demand zone, whatever you want to call it, before this breakout, but that breakout still wasn't very convincing. So it's kind of like an maybe trade. I really don't like to take the maybes. I'd rather just put more money on the I'm really confident trades. I think you guys would probably agree with that, right? Just see, that was cool. Came right there and came down. That's how I feel. Let's real quick take a look at this. Hasn't done much, this banker's close trade. It's still positive, but it just hasn't done much. That's fine. We'll just wait on it. Okay. This Euro franc yesterday had a really nice opportunity, similar to the CAD franc, the USD franc. So look at this guy. So this guy was coming down. He's coming down. You'd have to go back in history, back to the middle of October. Where's the structure? This is it right here. This is the resistance. What caused the break in the resistance? Couple of things. You have this guy right here, and you also have this guy right here. Those are the two things that caused the breakout. So you could place a buy here and a stop below all that, but you'd be right next to the next block. So you might as well just add a second buy and then stop out of everything by the time it got to here. If it got to there, it's not going to happen. It's not going to work out. If it gets to your stop loss, you want to stop out. Like you're going to be like, yeah, okay, market, you got me. You got me on this one. You know, take the loss. But those would be the two areas you'd want to buy. So, you know, let me draw this out. So you'd want to buy here and you want to buy here and then stop out here. So you go fast forward to the market today, boom, all right? That's where the market came in. It came right into this buy order block from the path back in mid-October. And then, you know, went 95 pips. Wow. Yeah, pretty cool. All right, so here's the euro pound. Okay, so this one actually could line up soon. So this is actually kind of unique. Couple of places you could buy on this. So this actually has a couple of opportunities. So if this thing pulled back, especially because I like that it's in an uptrend overall too, this has a lot of like really defined supports and resistance, which is nice because that's going to help us see structure breaks. So you come back. So first of all, let's draw out what's the obvious. This is the obvious, right? That's the support line that the market's made for now. It's also what used to be old resistance, right? So this was a resistance slash support area, supply demand zone. The market busted through it. What caused the market to break through it? You guys can already see it. I know you guys can see this by now. You're just itching for me to draw this out. It's this guy, right? That's what caused it. And then there's also another one. You probably saw this one too. Technically, this is a buy order block area right here. So you could place two trades. So, and these would be pending by, in fact, I'm going to write this one down too, because this one looks like it could be an opportunity to line up here in the coming day or even this week. That could be a huge winner for us. You'd want to have a buy right there. And you'd want to have a stop just below it. And then you'd want to wait if it kept going down, and you'd want to buy again right here. And then your last stop loss would go right below that mechanism. And that's it. Those would be very sniper-like entries. So you come over here, fast forward to the current market. If this market broke this support, there's a really good chance that right here in this area, you're going to find another power move up. If it breaks that, let it break. We'll stop out here, but the next really likely area where you're going to get a very large move to the upside would be right here. And that's a sniper-like entry. So we could do a trade with two orders. You know, we could take two different trades, you know, one to capture this one. If this one holds, if that one breaks, let it loose. And then you could buy here. You want stuff that's pretty defined like this, and you can see the clear breakout of old resistance and what caused it. It was this is what caused it. And it was also this that caused it, right? Those ones are beautiful. This is an absolutely beautiful trade. So yeah, you'd be looking at, if the market pulled into here, yeah, you'd be looking at 130 pips of profit, something like that. You know, if it pulled into here, you'd be looking for a similar thing, but just get a little extra, maybe 170 pips of profit. So, yep, and I wrote that one down. So I'll probably post that one too. Okay, this is one I took recently, just for fun for you guys to see. Let's go back. And actually, let me just delete all this stuff first. How would you have known the market was going to stop right here? You know, like it broke resistance right here. It broke support, I mean. How would you have known it was going to stop right there and find liquidity in that area? Well, go back, right? What caused this? So this was this is back in October. This is structure. This is old resistance. Okay, this is a breakout. What caused this? This guy. This is what caused it right here. So pretty much this is a buy zone right here. Everything in here would be a buy zone. Okay. And then your stop would come down here. It's kind of a bigger stop. I know you may not even need to do that. You could probably get away with something like that instead. But if you wanted to be sure, you could put it right there. But anything here would be the buy zone because this is what caused the breakout. So you fast forward, boom. I get so excited when I see that. Do you guys just see the flashing dollar signs? Right? That just wicked in there. You can go to lunch and tell your friends I caught that. They're gonna be like, how did you do that? Top secret. Gotta join, you gotta go to Trading with Steve and find out. But yes, that was you'd still have a 50 pip drawdown, but I mean that whole zone, you could actually technically buy in the whole zone. You could scale into a trade. You know, we don't like to add to losing trades, but as much, but I'd feel like you could be a little more comfortable adding to a loser as long as you're in that zone with a very defined stop loss down here, because obviously if it came down to there, you'd be done. But yeah, I mean, this guy went up 272 pips from that low. Right now, you'd be up 190 pips if you were still in the trade. This happened, by the way, this came down into this area. This was on Friday in the middle of the night. So that's why you have to anticipate these before they happen. I mean, I guess for some of you, it may not be. I'm just talking about for us, for those of us in the United States, this would be in the middle of the night. It's just beautiful, isn't it? Just a cool thing. Go back and find out what caused the break. This is structure. Find structure first, okay? What caused the break? This is the thing that caused the break, because these are the banks coming in and making orders. This is them coming in here and doing what they do. Sure, I'm sure they bought down here too. You know, obviously they did too. But guys, there's no real phenomenon that takes place at these support and resistance levels from what I have found. It takes place, and from what I've studied, I've watched tons of videos on this type of thing too. The places where future support and resistance will form will often take place where they put in their orders, where they created this massive breakout. How did they create this massive breakout? Oh, it's this thing. So when it comes back into it, you can see the market was like, oh, I want that. And then very short opportunity. You can't sit at your computer and wait for that to happen. You can't just sit there and wait. You do have to place a pending order and anticipate it, right? That's what we're going to do. Like going back to the euro pound, it hasn't happened yet, but we know that if the market comes back into here, for us, this is a buy area. If it stops out, we know that down here would be the next buy area, right? And then we move and then we move to the next trade. So, all right, let's see if we can find, just while we're here, I've got potentially 3 different trades we can take today that I'll post. I might omit the one I don't like as much, which is the Euro Aussie. I'll probably just take the USD CAD and Euro Pound, but I'll see what else we can find here. Here's the Euro Dollar. Again, the dollar's been kind of crazy recently, but this is interesting. Look at where it's come from. So this is the last high that it made. The euro dollar was right there. Look where it stopped. Basically, this was structure where the market is right now. What caused the break? I would say this whole block right here is what caused it, right? You could even argue that this is a sell block right here. So you could even go up to here and include that whole thing and then move that out. And sure enough, this would be a sell zone up here, because that's the last thing that, and yeah, sure enough, the market came into this area and just got crushed, right? I'm not really interested in trading that. I mean, it's technically still in the sell zone, so maybe we get a reversal on the euro here. I don't know, but I'm sticking to some of this other stuff that I feel like is not attached to a lot of some of these macro news events. But maybe that euro dollar is due for a sell. I don't know, but could be. Okay. Yeah, let's see. We've got just a few minutes left. I think I'm going to start wrapping up here. So let's go clean up our trade. So here's the euro franc. I'm going to leave a lot of these on here. And again, when I'm trading the banker's close, what I do is I come over to Forex volatility with Maytaf. Here's the link for those of you that want it. And then I type in the euro franc, or the currency I'm trading for the banker's close. I come to the day of the week, which is Tuesday. It's 131 pips. I take 131 pips and divide it by 4, and that's my stop loss. So that's 32.75. So it's a 33 pip stop loss from the current price of the market. So I'd want to stop out of all my trades right here, right around here. So like, we'll see right there. And I'll let these buys hang out too, these pending buys, but this would be it. This would be the end of the trade for the banker's close specifically. This is a different strategy. Obviously, we didn't do much with this because it doesn't do much when we're talking. Obviously, you want to be there for the signal when you're trading the banker's close, but there's really not a lot you need to do with it otherwise. Oh, that guy's not moving. I'm not sure why. Okay. Okay, and for these targets, I think we can leave. Honestly, I like the way it's kind of set up, it's kind of scattered through this area. It hasn't really done much. It hasn't gone down a lot, it hasn't gone up a lot. So I'm just gonna kind of leave it the way it's set up. And then I'll update you guys later on this trade, how it plays out. It might pull a Euro CAD from the other day. If you guys remember the Euro CAD, Friday, it went up against us. It held us up there for, the day. We were fine with that. I don't like it when it happens, but we're fine with it. And then Sunday, Monday, boom, we got the move we want. So that's kind of what I would anticipate here is, hey, this might go against us. Maybe it'll stay the same, but at some point we're going to get that move in our favor in the next 12 to 24 hours. So, all right, guys. So I will send out more swing trades for us to take, and I'm excited to get some more of these out to you guys because obviously we've had a lot of success with them. And as a reminder, we're going to have more frequent losers. Just to be fair, so I think I made $7,000 or $8,000 in my FTMO account last night. I had 2 losing trades, which is actually pretty good. I had one losing trade that lost $912, and I had another loser that lost $134. So, I mean, obviously we had some really big wins. Like I have a trade that's up $2,000 right now. I have another trade that's up 4,500 that made $4,500. It's already closed. Another trade 700 plus 300 on another trade. So yes, we've obviously covered those losers, but what I want to just make clear is just because I'm showing you this doesn't mean every single trade is going to work. We're going to have more frequent, smaller losers. So I want you guys to be aware of that. We're going to have some really monster wins, absolute monster wins. But it's going to come at the cost of having some more frequent but smaller losses. So just hang out with me for those smaller losses, and then you're going to love the monster wins. Also, I think you know, I've been able to teach this a couple of times to you guys. If you guys want to just text me on Telegram, like if you find a trade signal, let's share that with each other. I'm sharing what I find with you guys. If you find something that you think looks really good, that can only help your trading, and it'll help us both make money if you find an opportunity like that. Um, and it gives you a chance to kind of show off your analysis that you've learned. So, all right, guys. Well, I appreciate your attendance. Thanks for coming. And we'll see you guys tomorrow.